Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 35 of Kenshi. So, I have some goals in mind for this episode. One of the big ones here will be to get training facilities up and running. So, I'm going to do a little bit of all training. I'm going to start off with dummies, which I won't need much of. Most of my main crew are already beyond the capability of an MK3 dummy, but I'm going to set them up anyway. Assassin. And this might be useful to do abductions and knockouts and things like that. Locksmith or lockpicking training. So this is really, really important, especially if I'm going to get captured. So let's say a fogman ties me to a post or some slaver throws me into a prison. To be able to pick my manacles or whatever is keeping me locked up is going to be pretty useful. And then last but not least, thief training. So the bottom floor will be a huge training facility. There are some weird items that I'm going to need, like a cup and tools, or for assassin training, leather and raw meat, that I'll have to source, and that will be a little bit more challenging than normal. So off the bat here, what I think I'm going to do is to give my humans the new crossbows that I have got. Where is Hamet? Where is Rhadamant? Rhadamant is still what, running in? Yes, he's still running in. So we'll have him still run in. And then the Shek are going to not use crossbows for not really any good reason other than the fact that they're tougher. And then the humans and hivers will use crossbows, and the Shek and the skeletons won't. In fact, I'm going to rearrange the squad a little bit more so that the skeletons are up front. Sort of the toughness scale. Rhadamant's in front because he's our chief man, but everyone else will go ahead. So the next thing I want to do is with Voth, I guess. Yeah, I'll do it with Voth. We are going to trade away some of the copper I have, and some of my people have really, really bad strength. So I'm going to have the ones with particularly low strength go and do some strength training. So, okay, you have a head here, don't you? Let's put that away. So let's go into my stats. Wike and Sadniel, again, both have pretty bad strength. So we will load them up. And okay. Wike is not encumbered enough to truly benefit. Actually, I'm going to have Voth stick around. Well, he can start running. But another thing I want to do. Okay, let me do this correctly. I think what I'm going to do is fight some of the fogmen. Oh, here. We have some volunteers. So I can haul their bodies as well for strength training purposes. I didn't want entire episodes focused on strength training necessarily because it's boring, but at some point there are some pawns that need to be strength trained. Another thing I'm going to do, although you might consider this cheating, I don't think it's cheating, is just to move this barrel a little bit. People get stuck near it and behind it. I could easily remake it, but it's just, you know, rather than to go through that entire trouble, I'll just do it this way. Oh, they came out to fight me. That's perfect. Hello, Fogman. So I'm going to borrow the backpacks of Ruka and, you know, a bunch of the other thief backpacks and strength training with them. And I don't really care about the Voth. I don't really care if these Fogmen die while I'm holding them. That doesn't really bother me at all. Oron. And it should be pretty easy to get their strength up to a reasonable level pretty quickly. And, Stubbs, you're another one. Silver Shade. Beep. And Hamet. Even Hamet? Even Hamet, I guess. Just grab this dude. Alright. Rhadamant's still running on his way back. So, as long as the strength XP is above 50%, we know that we're doing a good job of encumbering. So we'll get Sadneil. Are you 48? Oh, close, but not all the way there. For people like Sadneil that are close but not all the way there, I can... Ooh, 2 more specialist grades. These ought to go to the skeletons, who do a lot of the tanking for me. Alright, Sadneil. Put some of that away. And that will have you nice and encumbered. And I'll turn off their jobs, and I'll have everyone that's strength training kind of group up. I should probably strength train Burn too, now I think about it. Thank you, Fogmen, for being absolutely terrific training partners. Alright, Voth is definitely one of them. Voth, we will fill you up. And Oron, you're another one. I'm actually going to have him ditch the backpack. These guys, basically, the reason being, they're so weak, they don't really need a backpack. Just to make sure they don't all of a sudden become able to handle the weight, we'll also give them a few of these weapons. Because they're super heavy as well. As you can see, they're super slow. That's pretty funny. Rain, you're good. Hamet, were we training you? Oh, no, I think it was Hobbs, not Hamet. All right, Hobbs. Let's put the sleeping bag away. And have you grab this backpack. The backpacks reduces the amount of encumbrance that they cause, so if I can avoid using the backpack, I will. And given how I want to eventually sell these iron clubs, what a perfect opportunity. Alright, Hobbs, are you encumbered? 10%. Yeah, you are a little bit stronger than the... Oh, no. Hobbs is very strong. Hobbs doesn't need to be doing this. Oh, it wasn't Hobbs anyway. Was it Hamet? Who's holding the body? It was Hamet. Herp derp. Alright, let's fix this. Hobbs. Trade to Hamet. Hamet was at 19 and hit 20. Oops. All of a sudden, just by carrying the Hive Man. Oh, yeah, I did that right. Hamit. Okay. Hamit, no more jobs for you. These guys, while they're waiting for me to finish setting this all up, I'll have them pace. That seems a total reasonable thing to do. All right, you are super encumbered. I'm doing my job correctly. Burn, you're probably super encumbered too. Not quite enough, if I'm being honest. Let's see. The skeleton repair keys or kits are not that heavy. It doesn't need to be 50%, but obviously that's the best ROI that I can achieve. So you are going to require a backpack, I suppose. And I'm going to need to load some stuff into your backpack. 47. Oh, apparently not even that will do. I have to really load you down. I don't know if I have anything that's heavy enough to really do the job here, to be honest. Oh. The armors, I want to sell them anyway, so we'll do that. Fill you full of ore. Alright. You're definitely encumbered now. Yeah. Okay. So all of these guys are getting trained. There were others, I think, who... I'll have to really look. Stubbs. Stubbs was the other one. Let's Kang give your backpack to Stubbs. That's a start. All you guys are strong enough. We're going to have you sleep. Rhadamant's getting attacked. Now, I'm not super low on food anymore, so I don't really need to hibernate them. I'm just going to as a force of habit. Think of it as just rest. There is no sleep mechanic in this game, so I'm all... Oh, beep. You too, buddy. I do have steel bars. I forgot about that. Beep is almost encumbered from the steel bars. I'll just steal some of the iron. %. Silver shade as well. At this point, I'm really just running out of things that can possibly encumber upon. Which is kind of funny. Maybe there's iron sitting. Nope, there's some copper sitting in here. But they also, because they had their jobs not disabled, they have some stuff that they shouldn't. Is there copper here? Yep. We're just gonna have to make do. Maybe it won't be 100%, but they will gain some strength from it. It's better than basically the no strength gain that I was currently having them endure. And this will help me mine faster, hit harder. There's a lot of benefits to this Rhadamant. Let's just give all your junk to Stubbs. And load them down that way. So that will probably work. Yep, 44%. That's a little better. More stuff? Alright. That is going to be all that I really have to give. Alright, so all these guys are going to group up. Pathfinding is not that much of an issue anymore because they're all so super slow. And we'll have them walk. Quote-unquote walk. Pengu needs to make this a permanent task of staying close to Jafar. Alright, now because I have somewhat of a lack of resources, iron to be specific, I'm going to make sure that I'll start to work on that. First with humans. Yep, alright. All the humans are all set up with those tasks. And then I wouldn't mind some additional copper. So we can take some of the stronger humans that I have trained already and put them on copper. I'm taking off their engineering. Griffin here will be set to engineering. And then the three Shek that I have left will just be resting. All right, where are... Oh, there they are. And I'm sure it's already paying off. Yep. So I get requested that I show stats. So if you're curious, I'm going to be scrolling through all the stats right now. You're probably going to have to pause. But Rhadamant, Wike, Sadnil, Burn, Kang, Ruka, Voth, Oron, Rain, Hamet, Hobbs, Mew, Crumble, Griffin, Stubbs, Infinite Wing Wang, Silvershade, Beep, and Green. There you go. Their current stats. Green actually could really benefit from... Let me get a... Ooh, we're getting attacked here. Nice. This is another really good way to increase strength. This is a big old... Alright, let's send some friendlies down here, because this is kind of a large crowd. Where are you going, Stubbs? I want to train them in strength, but I also don't want to like get knocked out. Now the clubs that these guys use are probably also pretty encumbering objects. And now we're going to be raising toughness too. You can see who's really good at combat because they'll basically have a giant amount of I think Burn's getting shredded. A giant amount of corpses by their feet. Like Hamid is just cutting through these guys. Whereas Burn, well, no one wants to eat Burn. Beep's doing a pretty good job. He's holding his own. Alright, Burn's back up. The backup is a little slow. Not that it's non-existent. It just took me a sec. And we'll get the medical care and have him do some more marching. Or robot care, whatever is needed. Oh, see, now they're carrying Beep. Burn. Alright, Mr. Beep is just slightly injured. Alright, Mr. Rhadamant. We need you here to patch them all up. So anyone that's strength training, I'm going to separate out so that it's obvious who they are. They also should be carrying some stuff. Beep, you were getting strength trained. We need you to pick up a hive or a fog. Oh yeah, you got a messed up arm. Okay, well, I can't really strength train you then. Kang, Rain, Voth. Oh, Voth, you were doing it too. Now looking at all these guys. Most of them, oh, burn. Most of them are still at 50%. Or close there. So for instance, Silver Shade isn't quite at 50. But I can always pick up a few extra clubs. Oops, wrong direction. And get that extra 50. Same deal with Stubbs. Beep, this was for you. Rain and Rhadamant and Kang will stand vigil over you while you rest up that arm. Let's see. Just trying to min-max there. Hamet. We're all sort of getting up here. No, put Beep down. There's almost nothing I can do for Hamet. How heavy is this? This is 2 kilograms, 4 kilograms. This takes up 6 spots. This takes up... Okay, copper's gonna have to be what it is. All right, everyone else... Beep, it might be a bad idea for you to strength train out here. Everyone else can get going. So we lost one on the way. Now, once I get to the high village, I might not even sell. I might just keep going. Oh, Silvershade, you were doing it as well. You're going to have to rendezvous with them. And all y'all will have to head back. Oh, there was a scrawny cannibal here. It's a good amount of corpses. I just plopped down there. Alright, Beep. You get off the hook. Your strength's not terrible, though. It's not the lowest. So one thing I could do is to start to train people that are standing around the base. I don't know if the Shek will ever really truly need to use the crossbows, but given that they'd be idle otherwise, what's the harm, right? And I'm going to have Rhadamant train on the lockbox. Oh, this is a level 1 lockbox. So actually, let's engineer it instead. Ideally, the people training on the crossbows would be the home team. Because those are turrets, rather. Because that's who's going to need it. You are headed out to this iron. Okay, we got the iron. Some of those nodes out there still had iron left. Definitely going to have to remember to fix up the robots. They got kind of mashed. Alright, so this is strength trained crew. Except for Wing Wing. He's headed home. Now the road between the base... Oh, I screwed up Wing Wing again. The road between the base and the high village is generally pretty safe. I haven't really seen any beak things. There are some cannibals and bandits and whatnot, but they're not all that dangerous to me anymore. Okay, this needs iron plates. Let's stop training and start engineering. Rhadamant's lockpicking is 28, so I'll barely be able to get anything trained here. I think I can do lockpick 3. And I'll do turret train 2. So I'll get Rain's lockpicking up. And this is just a preventative measure to keep them from ever being enslaved. Which, might I add, is handy. Now, I have given it... the auto-loom is out of resource... Molly. Let's haul to... Haul to it. What can she make now? She can make MK1s. I'm going to start... I'll finish this blade and then actually start making MK1s with her. Because my current weapons are dismally bad. I don't have advanced weapon grades up yet. But she's not capable of it anyway, so it's kind of moot. Alright, let's have them do the more useful training. Checking in on our strength buddies. Alright, congratulations, you're all the way here, and head home again. Yep. So they started off as 10. They're up to they're up a few points. BP found a way to not strength train. What I'm going to do with him is put his lightweight stuff away and have him go ahead and go train. He really... Beep's character, the backstory is he really wants to be a very strong warrior, aka two-hander. So it makes sense to have him be strong, because you can't efficiently wield a two-hander if you can't hold it at all. And we'll load you down, buddy. We will load you down like you've never been loaded down before. I just need to find a corpse for him to hold. Really, anybody will do. That's roughly where the battle took place, so we'll check there. And as you can see, their lockpicking is going up. Waiting on a bunch of iron plates, though. Who was the guy working the... Alright, Bard. I'm going to have you stop in the steel refinery and make sure you haul to the iron refinery first and foremost. Let's keep that going. And then after you haul to that, we'll haul to the iron plates. Make sure it doesn't fill up. He'll be our iron guy. I think we're doing a pretty good job of actually keeping that iron refinery always working, but... Okay, so we have lockpick training 3, which means we can upgrade these up another tier. We will, let's downgrade them for now. We don't have the, we don't have the materials to put them in. Okay, we'll just do tier 2s. The steel springs and stuff like that, I'll either have to craft or buy. No, we're working on the katanas, and these guys are getting messed with again. Hopefully not by a giant crew. Yep. It's not small. But Beep did need a body to hold, so... As long as we don't lose our ability to carry anyone, that'd be ideal. Where are you running off to? Oh, you're chasing one down. Don't worry about that. Don't chase him down. Alright, Beep. You're now part of the crew. The strength training crew. So, I overlooked something. Kind of a big something. So, I'm going to apologize right now. The outpost. Yes, I totally forgot that we had a vote going for the outpost. I've been juggling a few things. So let's, I actually haven't checked up on the vote results. Let's see what it will be called. It is going to be named Rhadamant. All right, cool. Rhadamant is the winner. The vote results I can put up on the website, Rhadamant.com. If you're curious, it was pretty much neck and neck of what the number one was going to be. And now that it is officially named Rhadamant, we're going to have to figure out what the squad's name are. So the Rhadamant is the primary squad, and maybe that will stay, but it will once again be left up to vote. So Rhadamant was number 1, number 2 was Foggy Bottom, and then there were 2 others that were almost tied for 3rd. If you were curious, you can always check that out. Oh, we have a lot of idle people. Even Aramid? How are you idle? Do we just not have food? Who's supposed to be on the grain silo? Why are you sitting around? That doesn't make sense. There is grain here. Gecko. Why aren't you working? Oh, because your backpack's full of hemp. That is a very perfect reason why you're locked up and not doing anything. You were sitting around probably because there's no farming to be done. And Aramid because Gecko's backpack filled up. All the more reason we really want to crank through this backlog of fabric. Alright, Griffin, when there's nothing left to engineer, you will lockpick. These guys have made it all the way back. They're probably trying to eat, so let's go eat and then send them back out again. I guess I'll put Ruka over here. This Griffin seems to be just engineering. Alright, everyone has eaten, I'm assuming. Now to march. Oop. Now to march once again. I think what I'll do is Jafar. I'm going to use you real quick and I'm going to dump some of the hemp that we have in storage into the general storage so that we can actually harvest our fields because they're getting backlogged. I would say that a next good thing to research might be hemp auto crafting. There isn't skill involved in crafting this sort of hemp, so, and it looks like our first. Some of our first swords are going to be rolling off the line. I am excited about that. The training room is coming together, albeit unbelievably slowly due to lack of iron plates. Iron plates, you say, as I scratch my head, turn off jobs, and run into Mongrel. Maybe I'll just supplement it rather than wait for iron plates forever. I could build another iron refinery, but I don't want to over-engineer a solution that isn't all that serious, you know? Now, Danny did say that it might be a smart idea to have other characters go on long errands, and I would agree with you. Yes, it would be, and I'll start that. Oh, now that this is built, Green, stop your iron mining and start your training. Green's probably the only one that benefits from melee training because, let me do a quick check. This brings us up to 15, and I think everyone else is above 15. The only reason Green wasn't was he was, wow, 36. He was crossbowing. Yeah, he's the only one. The only one that benefits from this. Now checking up on the other group. Strength has definitely increased considerably. In fact, to a point where a lot of these guys are no longer really all that encumbered. We are starting to train athletics instead. Not a terrible thing. And this is where backpacks really come in handy. Or extraordinarily heavy objects, individual objects like generator cores. You are running the wrong way. Slowly filling up our building materials. And I think what I'm going to do with Dr. Chung here is instead of stone mining, I'm going to have him operate the workbench, and we'll crank out some meds. And I'm just, rather than a repeat queue, I'm just going to set it up to make a set amount, I don't want an infinite amount. Fabrics are in high demand. And Molly made the sword. She's kept it, though. But 81, that's better than a lot of the swords I've previously had, so that's a big improvement. Another training dummy is up. That'll be good for the home crew. Rhadamant's getting targeted, but being able to run 10 kilometers an hour faster than the enemies, or 11, makes that not so much a threat. Checking up on their lockpicking. Still a little bit ways to go. Training takes a long time. It reminds me of San Andreas, GTA, where like sometimes you just have to grind it, you know? Sometimes it's really not that fascinating to train in that game, but it's just something you had to do. It was a part of the game mechanic. And I've done my best to try to avoid training. Now, if you play for yourself, you may likely find yourself in a scenario where you're just training all the time. You are just strength training until you plateau and athletic training until you plateau. It doesn't make for compelling video gaming necessarily. So I try to keep it to a minimum. Some games, some episodes like this one, I have a little bit more training than others. But that's because I intend to take out big bounties soon. We did have Canhead show up at our doorstep and sort of deliver himself to us. But I can't rely on not all the bosses operate that way. Most of them won't just show up at my doorstep and go, hey, please kill me. That's just not how it normally works. Seeing if I can't encumber Wike a little bit more. It's probably a very strange sight for any people to happen upon. But regardless, we had people like Voth start at 11, and the racial bonus of strength increase has definitely helped a bunch. And here he is with almost twice the strength he had before. So now we have more training dummies. Now the additional training dummies can be for the home crew. I just figured sets of 3 kind of looks nice. But it does appear as if we need some leather. Does that mean you're idle? Yes, does mean you're idle. Griffin, when you're idle, let's tan leather. Nope, that's the wrong one. Let's tan leather. We need leather for the assassination targets. We have some more specialist grade armor. And our strength people are getting attacked. Hungry bandits. These guys actually might have some decently heavy clubs. Who did you just wrecked someone that was laying on the ground there? It's like Wike, for instance, has some room. He's really not even... Oh no, he's at 40%. I just made it worse, didn't I? Ideally, we would have put the kits away. Does anyone just have space? I guess is the next question. Why are you screaming man down? No one's down. Nah, none of them really have space. I did load them up pretty proper. Burn has like a little bit of space, I guess. A little bit more space than that. I'm not a thief. You're dead. Can't steal from... I guess you can corpse loot. Beep, you have a little bit of space as well. But your arm got screwed up, didn't it? That again. Yeah, Hyver's arms are not what they need to be sometimes. But Beep, your strength is pretty okay. It's on par with everyone else's. So what I'm going to do is actually do a run to this high village to sell everything that I have. Alright, Rhadamant's home. Brought home some fabrics. I was hoping for some more iron, but of course I didn't go to a way station. I just went to Mongrel, so they didn't actually have very much. I should have shopped for tools and stuff like that, but oh well. Everyone makes mistakes. Being able to make my own crossbow bolts sounds awesome. Rain collector is not really needed here. My batteries are doing just fine. I'll have my main character train on the turret stuff. And then I'm going to have to call it. I went nice and lengthy for you all, but this is about as long as I can afford to spend time on. So thank you all for watching. If you have any feedback for me, drop me a line. I do apologize that this was a strength training episode, more or less, but it will really pay off because I think maybe next episode, given the new armor that's rolling off the line and some of the new weapons that's rolling off the line, we can get some beautiful bounties done. So if you have any help or ideas for me or things to do, anything of that nature, drop me a line. I would love for anyone that wants to participate in this series to hop on Discord because that's a lot of an easier forum for me to deal with. But if you have an aversion to Discord, that's fine too. I'll catch you all later. Adios.